I gotta read this.
I guess it's me. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. It's a little bit different. This week, as you can see, we're doing things differently with Mike and Steven both on separate vacations because being on vacation together would be weird. The three geeky dads are taking over the airwaves, so to speak. So do not adjust your video feed. We are in control. We control the horizontal and the vertical. And if you know what that means, you're old AF, just like us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Three Geeky Dads podcast takeover.
Hello there. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first. So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
Wow.
Whoa.
We
I
all
guess
talk
I'm
first.
talking first, huh? Hey, hello, and welcome to not Two Geeks and a Mic, but rather an intrusive episode of Three Geeky Dads. The show, like a virus, contaminates other podcasts, whether you want them to or not. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the Gus and Van to my Sant.
Derek
And Brian.
And unfortunately, we are without Tito today due to him being apprehended by authorities for bringing polio back to the States. And if you don't get that joke, that means you haven't been listening to our show. And shame on you.
If you haven't.
Anyway, tonight we are at the helm of Two Geeks and a Mic as we take a look at the history of geekdom. When did geeks inherit the earth? When did comics and superheroes and wearing Batman t-shirts become cool and not get you beat up every day after school, like some people who will remain nameless? When did geeks become heroes and become, I typed something, but my autocorrect screwed it up. When did this phenomena start? When did it all go back to? All these topics and more will be looked at by us, the original OGs of geekdom, before the Big Bang Theory made it a thing and said, oh, it's okay to be a geek now.
Yeah.
I actually like that show, sorry. But anyway,
Did you
hey,
really?
guys, we're here together.
What's up, boys?
How are you? How you doing?
We're here
Doing
together
good.
separately.
I know.
Three separate
That's right.
states and Megan in the control room in a fourth state. It's a weird state of mind.
This is strange.
It smells a lot different in this room.
I know, right?
So I'm in the
No, Giovanni's in front of me.
of Maine right now, and I'm facing a window, and I look dead. I look like the ghost of Christmas past.
You're still a handsome boy.
Thank you. Think of me as the
Maki,
spirit.
eat something. Eat something. You're wasting away, Maki.
Oh yeah.
It's time for my breakfast hoagie.
We have nothing in this cabin yet. The wife and kids are out food shopping now, so
Foraging.
This will be the time that I have nothing to eat. I got coffee. That's it.
Hey, there's nothing
Desperate
better
trying to find a Dunkin' Donuts.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Dunkin'. They're just
I had
Dunkin'.
to fight
man.
a bear for these munchkins.
I'll kill a squirrel and eat it if I get hungry later. I'm roughing it. I'll kill a chipmunk.
Oh man.
Okay, so let's do this.
So
Let's do it. So I guess on to geek news. If anybody's got any geek news.
I know Derek does.
I do, yeah. I've been following the making of Deadpool 3, and spoiler alert, anybody who doesn't want to know some of the cameos that are lined up, but there are some pretty cool, pretty much confirmed cameos, and it's starting to sound like this movie is going to do for the fans what we all thought the multiverse was going to end up being, Multiverse of Madness. Ben Affleck was on set, so there's talk about him becoming Daredevil again, for a quick shot. His ex-wife Jennifer Garner, Elektra, she's confirmed. They're doing a Gambit cameo, so we're finally going to be able to see what's his name, Magic Mike there. Mike is Gambit.
Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Yes, Channing Tatum. I always want to say
a lot
Josh
of,
Hartnett for some reason. I always get those two mixed up.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I see. I used to get him confused with someone else. There was another one that was around the 90s. And they all had that look. Shaggy.
It's true. Yeah, and they
shaggy
seem to
brunette
emerge
white
at the
guys.
same time. Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, so that it's sounding like it's going to be really cool. I still think they should have just, shown a shot of Deadpool dragging a file on Windows from Fox to Disney. But
hey, post-credit scene, like how it was made.
You guys got anything?
I have a question. I have to know: are we going to get David Hasselhoff back as Nick Fury?
Wouldn't that be funny?
For a cameo, I think, or that weirdo who played
if he can
Doctor
pull himself
Strange.
up off the bathroom floor and put down the cheeseburger, then maybe.
Hey, I don't know if this was photoshopped or not, but I saw Hugh Jackman in the yellow Wolverine costume. Did you guys see that?
I did see that.
I saw it briefly, and I don't remember exactly when, but it was a point this past week, which was a very busy week for me, where I didn't really have a chance to go into it, but I looked at it really quick on my phone and said, "Oh my God, that's awesome." It looked really cool, but I don't know if it was a leaked photo from the set or if it was just somebody messing with Photoshop. So
you get a lot of that too nowadays. Everybody knows how to use Photoshop and all the little apps and stuff. But there was someone who did a, I don't know if it was an AI drawing or what, but someone did a mock-up of what the guys on there, like all the Fox guys would have looked like in classic costumes, like in this movie, and it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. I'll have to look for that one. I haven't seen that yet. Just the Wolverine one I've seen. Yeah.
And what was the other?
Nope.
Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan. Megan is our Tito today.
That's right.
Yeah, and I can't hide behind my screen. I'm gonna jump in if I want to say something.
That's all right. What's up?
I just wanted to point out my parents are watching from our.
Oh, so we have to be good.
We gotta behave.
And my dad said, and they said, "I love Brian's name."
Wow.
Yeah, I see that. Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, I love the comment there. Hi, Mike. Hi, Steven. Watching you?
Well, I don't know if Steven's watching.
No.
I know.
Is he out somewhere?
He's on vacation. I'm on vacation and I'm working. What's up with this?
Yeah,
I get to be on vacation.
He's afraid to watch.
This is fun. How dare you call this work?
It isn't. It's a way of life, Brian. It is a way of life. Yes.
So,
Megan, you had a bit of news, didn't you?
Sort of. Mostly just that I've seen Beyond the Spider-Verse has gotten delayed to like 2026. I was trying to find it earlier, but I couldn't find it.
I saw that too, Megan.
Yeah.
Because from what I guess they were looking to have it released of March of next year, in 2024. But somebody said that they hadn't even recorded any dialogue yet. Well, it might have been Haley Steinfeld.
Haley did,
yeah, that she hasn't even recorded anything. So,
which I thought they were doing them back to back. I thought they, I
really think that this writer's strike is messing everything up.
Yeah,
because they can't do anything if they want to do any kind of rewrites. They can't do anything without going against the union.
Well,
or the
Deadpool,
guild
Ryan Reynolds can't do any ad lib.
No, I know.
They told him that he can't do any ad lib because that would go against the
right. That counts as a writer's credit.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
so it's really messing everything up, unfortunately. And I haven't. We were talking about this yesterday. Sorry, Mark. We were talking about this yesterday at work. My buddy Paul and I about we haven't heard anything about any kind of resolution, like if they're even close to closing this thing out and moving forward. And I honestly haven't had a chance to look to see what the story is with this thing, but I hope it doesn't drag out for too much longer. I really do.
No. And it's been going on for a while now.
It has been. It's been a couple of months already, and nobody said anything about what the situation is. So just that this is delayed and that's delayed, and they're all blaming the writer's strike. But are they close to resolving things? Who knows? So yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame.
And that movie ended on a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, it did. A big.
I haven't seen it yet. I still have to see it.
Cliffhanger.
Yep.
Ah, that
An
sucks.
awesome cliffhanger. The ending of that movie was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It was like Empire Strikes Back cliffhangery big.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, it turned out Darth Vader was Miles Morales' father. Spoilers.
I knew it. All right. Well, I have a bit of geek news. It's kind of news anyway. I should give a. I'm going to shamelessly plug myself. I got a signing.
I don't remember you're on camera.
I got to plug myself up. My plumbing. So next week, Rubber Chicken Comics, that publishes my book Werewolf with a Chainsaw, is publishing a book that I did artwork for called Liner. It is a horror story at sea, so to speak, written by Jim Savard, drawn by me.
Nice.
Some awesome cover art by artist Mike Doherty, who you guys have met, and of course Josh Hurst, who we all know, who puts all of Werewolf with a Chainsaw together, does all the lettering, puts all the books page by page, adds all the finishing touches, and he did so on this book too. So we're all going to be at Rubber Chicken. So if you are in the Bellingham area,
Massachusetts.
Yeah, Bellingham. Yeah. I was gonna add in Massachusetts, not Bellingham.
Megan, make your travel plans now.
That's right. Come on, Megan. You got not. Yeah, come on. But if you're a local, come on down, get a book, get it signed. Rubber Chicken's having an awesome Christmas in July sale, so you can stock up on all your geek stuff.
Yeah.
So that's not news. That's me shamelessly plugging myself.
There you go. And you're doing it on camera.
I don't have any news. That's it. But
that's disgusting.
That is. I'm in the wilderness. It has to be done. You don't have toilet paper here. No.
Does a mark plug in the woods? Find out.
If a mark collapses in the woods, is anybody around to hear it?
Get you one of those lifeline things.
We are tackling the big philosophical questions this morning.
I can hear Steve and Mike right now. I can hear them right now. What did we
collective
unleash?
The groan.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
All right. So
let's get to it then.
Yeah, let's get to it.
We also have Geekdar.
Yes.
What's on your Geekdar, which would be like our geek flag fly.
Control the radar, sir. What's wrong with it? I've lost the bleeps, I've lost the sweeps, and I've lost the creeps. The what? The what? And the what? You know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps.
That's not all he's lost.
I too am surrounded by a-holes.
Keep
you're
firing, asshole.
Right? You're not the Brady Bunch screen that you're on.
Yeah. We are on a Brady Bunch screen. I didn't even think about it. Look at this.
Hey,
look, there's Ann B. Davis as Alice. Boom, just walked right up. What's on your Geekdar, gentlemen and lady?
The trailer for Suicide Squad. I think it's pronounced Ice K. It's an anime series that Japan's making for Suicide Squad.
All right.
Yeah, I had seen some of the designs already, but they just dropped the trailer for it, and it looks really cool. I'm not sure what it's going to be streaming on. I don't know how I'll be able to access it. I may have to illegally obtain pirate means, but it looks awesome.
Cool.
Very cool designs for the characters. Good stuff.
Cool.
Well, they look fantastic.
I haven't seen it yet. After this.
I haven't seen it either.
Nice. I watched a movie on Netflix last night. It was animated, and it's called Nimona, and it's pretty fantastic. The animation is awesome. The story is good, really good. I shouldn't just say good because that makes it seem like I didn't like it, but I really did. Apparently, it's based on a book or a series of books, and it's about this little girl who's a shapeshifter, and this. The world is really interesting because it's got technology, but everybody kind of dresses like medieval knights kind of thing. And It's a really, really cool story about loyalty, friendship, and magic, and it's awesome. And I really think my daughter would like it. She's up in Canada right now with her grandmother, and if she's bored, I told her to definitely check it out, and that's why it was on my radar, because we had seen the ad for it just before we went up there. Don't know if she's seen it, but it's definitely got her written all over it. So my wife and I watched it last night, and we're anxious to talk to Quinn about it if she's seen it yet. So
It's actually based off a book of the same name.
Yeah. Okay. I knew, because when the credits were rolling, it said based on the book or the story, and I don't know the author of it, but it was really good. It was really good. Chloe Grace Moretz does the voice for the main character, and the one that plays the disgraced knight. I don't remember his name, but he's the one who played Bodhi from Rogue One, the pilot that defected to the rebels, that brought the plans. Remember, he had his mind wiped by that big creature.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture him.
Yeah.
I'm going to see that movie again.
Yeah. But they're the ones who do the main voices, and it's really, really well done. Really well.
D. Stevenson is the author.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tito.
That's my job on this one.
Right.
I like this Tito. This one doesn't make you feel like a jackass.
That's right.
That's because this Tito does her job.
Yeah.
He's on top of things.
Also, as far as the Suicide Squad anime, it seems like not a platform hasn't been given, but Warner Brothers is likely going to have their own platform. It's going to be on their platform.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
I don't know what the Warner Brothers platform is, but
Well, I guess it's HBO Max or Max now.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't
Or the CW. That's still a thing. That's them as well. And the other thing that I had too is that Disney Plus now has all of the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles on.
Yeah, it does.
And that's a show that I never really got to watch back in the day when it first ran. So I am in the process of catching up on what I missed before I'd see the movie, because I wasn't so sure about seeing the new movie, but the reviews and stuff I've read said it's fairly decent, a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I might actually check it out.
I've heard from our buddies Dean and Jay Pillarella that Tyler. I'm sorry, Jay had not seen it yet. Tyler and Dean's, I believe. I want to say it's Tyler. Yeah. I've heard good reviews from some of our friends. They said, So that's good.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it now. So anyway, I'm checking out Young Indiana Jones in preparation for it. Not that I really need to, but it's just something I want to watch.
You're checking out Young Indiana Jones.
I know. Hey.
Indy was pretty good.
Young hot Sean Patrick Flannery.
Powder.
That's Boondocks. I automatically.
Yeah.
I go to Suicide Kings with him.
Oh yeah.
I saw him in. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I tell you I rewatched that when we were talking about it? I finally got to see it because it's on your Vudu, is it not? Or did I rent it somewhere else?
Oh no, it's not. No, I haven't.
Then I saw it on
Prime
TV
right now.
Yeah,
it's on time. I'll get it.
But Tito, I think, brought it up about 3 weeks ago or so, and I forgot to tell you that I did rewatch it because I've only seen it the one time, and oh my god, that was a fantastic movie.
Oh, it's an awesome movie.
Forgot how good that was.
Yep, great
What
cast.
a cast.
Mark, what's on your Geek Dar?
Comics. I've been reading all the Dawn of DC stuff that has been coming out since the Lazarus Planet one-shot book and all the tie-ins to that. Dawn of DC, Superman, Titans, Doom Patrol, Green Lantern, and a bunch of others coming out. And the ones that I've read are phenomenal. They're great.
You're liking it?
I know you're reading Superman Lost right now, Derek, and I want to go back and check those out. But that's pretty much what I've been doing. I've been reading and trying to, be smarter. So there you go. It's not working, but I'm trying.
Well, hey, as long as you weren't reading them on your drive up.
No, that would just be silly. And I also saw the Five Nights at Freddy trailer, which I'm really excited for because I played that game with my kids. We love it. So I'm looking forward to that. Nice little October movie. I love those October horror films, and so I'm always excited when we get a new one.
Yeah, it's one that my daughter's been chomping at the bit for.
Yeah,
a while now too.
How do you feel about Afton being Matthew Lillard.
That's awesome. I love Matthew Lillard. He's fun to make
I could
fun
take or
of.
leave him.
I know he annoys a lot of people, but I just think he's hilarious. I wish he showed
I think
up.
he's an underrated actor.
He's does a
underrated.
great Shaggy. He is the master at voicing Shaggy, and I don't know. I always liked him.
Horror in his background, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with the Scream movies.
Yeah.
And
He was-
13 Ghosts.
Yep.
Yeah, he was in
Right.
13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah, he was the tech. The
I
saves
better
the day
see
at
that
the
one
end.
then.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler
Really?
alert.
Thanks.
Yeah.
He's listen, he's serial killer in Hackers, by the way. So let's not forget serial. I don't know. Actually, I think he's just serial. I don't think he's serial killer, but whatever. Anyway, he's awesome in that.
He's been. I've watched him in some serious roles, and he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping they'd find a way to bring him back in the Scream series, but they haven't yet. So,
Me too.
Yeah.
but we can always hope because they're making more of them, and you know, hopefully better than the
Quickly
last.
becoming the Fast and Furious series.
They should. We're gonna have Scream in space pretty soon. They're gonna go to space. It happens.
That's when it jumps the shark.
It jumps the shark. It jumps the alien.
Jumps the alien.
Come on, no sleep, guys. They can't all be funny. Just humor me.
Haha, good one, Mark.
Thank you, Brian.
It's funny.
It's funny because it's got aliens.
That's how you jump an alien.
Zoinks,
Oh,
like,
my God.
wow, Scoob.
Zoinks.
An
That's all I
alien?
got. That's all that's been happening. I've been busy.
Nice.
Like, we got to find our way to the airlock.
Like Scoob, you ate all the frozen ice cream.
I did.
Powder ice cream. So perfect. So perfect. And you, not the Scooby-Doo fan. I feel like
know.
that power is
I
wasted on you.
Yep.
Good God.
But I am a Casey Kasem and Frank Welker fan, so there you go.
That's something, I guess.
It's something to be proud of, Dad.
Yep.
All right, boys. So and girl, is that pretty much it for Geekdar?
That's what I got.
All I got.
All right.
Love is
So,
what I got. Yep.
As the illustrious Mr. Stephen Boster would say, it's time now for the main event.
It's time for the main event.
It's almost like he's in the room with us.
I know. The spirit of Steven is running through me.
All right, time for the main course, the main event. Sorry.
Yes,
Sorry, yeah.
that's right. And on our show, it would be the main course. And we lost our
That's
Tito.
right.
She's still there. We can't see
Where'd
her.
she go? Oh, she had enough.
She had enough.
She had enough.
She went back behind the
We're
curtain.
not even live anymore. It's just us three.
Pay no attention to that Megan behind the curtain. All right. So when did it become cool to be a geek, boys? When do you think it all changed? Because we all had our run-ins with the jocks and the people who thought that liking comic books and watching sci-fi and loving Star Wars and Star Trek was definitely not cool. It was definitely something to be beat up about, ridiculed and mocked. I'm using my Massachusetts accent.
Where the phrase is
See what you
going.
did. Oh, I thought you called me Mac.
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 My name is Mark, and thanks a lot. You know what I'm talking about. I see you laughing. All you rock and roll fans out there. And so we were wondering, when did it all change? When did it suddenly become cool and hip? When did the geeks inherit the earth? What was the turning point for you, Derek? Did you
I used to think I always used to kind of think that Marvel was the catalyst. Like, you know, when the MCU kind of became a thing, even though Marvel had put out movies with Fox and Sony, and it really, like, it didn't really become a massive global, like, everybody was into it until Iron Man and so on. But I honestly, I think I want to say in the 80s, even though in the 80s, that's when we went to school and we were ridiculed.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's when the seeds started getting planted.
Oh yeah.
You had
Oh,
movies
definitely.
like Porky's and Revenge of the Nerds
Mm-hmm.
that took these, outcast characters
Yeah.
and made them the central focus. They were the good guys. The frat guys were always the bad guys in those movies. The jocks and the preppy guys, the popular people were always the bad. Were always the antagonists. And
Right,
I think
it's true.
that really started kind of planting the seeds to let society know that,
their intentions were well-meaning.
right.
But I'm a little loath right now. Like if Tito was here, what doesn't work today would be one of his questions. I hate to be lumped in with the Revenge of the Nerds crowd now because that movie, looking back, is very rapey.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh wow, the guy gets the girl at the end. Well, yeah, by disguising himself as somebody else and having sex with her without her knowing who it actually is.
It was the 80s. It was a different time.
Oh, I know.
You didn't think about
like I said,
that.
they meant well, but it doesn't definitely.
Well, I don't know if they meant well. We just
Well, and not just
No, I
that
see what
movie.
you're saying,
I mean,
Derek.
in general, just the idea
Yeah.
that the
The
movies back
sequels-
then.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
The
even
sequels-
even when you get Breakfast Club and these other, a lot of those other high school movies that took place in the that were filmed in the 80s.
Yeah. Like
it was a central theme.
Pretty in Pink. Everybody associated with Ducky, and Ducky was the outcast nerdy kid.
Right. Right.
Everybody loved Ducky back then.
So I think that maybe watching those movies and a lot of them are so beloved and are cult classics and everything. It kind of sets the tone in society's head, like the preppy popular people are bad. They're always jerks. It's wrong, and you're a bad guy if you treat people like that.
Yeah.
And it's okay and great to be different and have and like eccentric things. So I think it kind of built from there. In the 90s, you kind of had a lot of like the geeks were always the ones that were outcast, were still made fun of, but at the same time, they were usually the ones that kind of saved the day in the end. They were the ones.
Well,
that
in
knew.
the 90s, it kind of became like the geeks were like the computer hackers because that's what everything was all about back then. You had the Matrix, you had the Hackers movie. Every geek was into computers back then.
Yeah.
So it shifted a little bit, but yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah. The geekdom changed a bit, but they were still geeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the technology got more advanced, but the geekness stayed the same.
Yeah. Now for me, I'm going to say like for me, I think it went back a little bit further than the Marvel renaissance, but not by much. I really started to notice a change around the time that the Lord of the Rings came out and the Harry Potter movies, because that was when I think girls started to get into like fantasy and sci-fi, and they're like, well, this is cool, and it branched out from there. I knew I dated somebody in the early 2000s before I met my wife, whose sister was huge into Lord of the Rings. I mean, she lived, ate, and breathed the Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. My mom, who was never really into sci-fi and fantasy and stuff, loved the Harry Potter books. And I'm like, wow, this is something I never thought I'd see them get into,
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had the MCU come around in 2008, and it, the Big Bang Theory was cranking on TV at the time, where they were showing that it was cool to be a geek. And I really think that it was around the late 90s, early 2000s for me that I noticed a change.
Yeah.
Like you said, like in the 90s, we had like the hacker movies, and we still had geeks in the movies and stuff, and in the 80s as well, but they were still on the fringes. I really don't think it was like mainstream cool to be a geek. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's when I noticed the change.
And that's a good point. When girls are into it, you get all these like.
Right,
guys in school,
like, well, maybe I should
you're going to see, oh, wow, Brandy, she might be a cheerleader, but she really digs, Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
exactly.
And that,
Yeah.
like,
Maybe I should carry a Harry Potter book and see if I can get some of these cheerleaders.
Damn, now I gotta take time from my football practice to learn the names of the houses in Harry Potter. But
yeah. And then the rest of the guys on the team are like, reader, you're a reader.
89 Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost thought you typed that, Mark.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually mine.
Is it?
That's that. Yeah, I would say for me, it's the '89 Batman movie was when I started noticing that not just comic book people were wearing the shirts and talking the Batman language, so to speak, but all of a sudden everybody was wearing the bat symbol on a shirt or a hat.
Yeah,
the popular people had them, and
my brother
all of a sudden
had
people
Joker
knew
shirt,
who
and he was never into Batman.
Yeah, well, even my dad went and saw that movie. Like everybody was enthralled with this. They were amazed that this could be done. So because most of them just remembered the series, and the series was very campy.
It really was,
and still not. It was popular for sure, but popular I think in a different way. It was still portrayed as silly, fun stuff. And when
it was the only Batman that they had.
Yeah, but when they saw the '89 Batman movie, I don't think anybody was prepared for how dark and brooding and menacing it was, and how scary the Joker was, and how scary Batman looked, and then I really think it tugged on the right string or whatever, because all of a sudden people were like, oh, superheroes can be this awesome and it's cool. And like I said, everybody was talking Batman. Everybody knew the Joker, and then merchandise was being produced, and you were learning Catwoman, the Riddler, all that stuff. So, for me, that's really when I started noticing, oh, this is cool. It's okay to wear a Batman shirt now. And,
maybe I'll turn a corner without seeing that bat symbol on something or somewhere.
That movie really opened the floodgates for making comic book movies. I think once studios saw hey, we can make a lot of money off this, and people are digging it, let's there's all these other properties, let's use them,
right?
But I think Batman, I mean, and obviously I'm a little partial and I could go on forever about Batman, but I think Batman is almost like a separate entity entirely, because it's it's a global. The movie itself was a phenomenon. It was. Like you said, Mark. Everywhere you went, you saw the symbol everywhere. People were getting it tattooed, shaved into their heads. Shirts, hats, everything.
Yeah.
And it was worldwide, and it was people that weren't really comic book fans, or and even after weren't necessarily going to be comic book fans, but they were a fan of Batman, and Batman was cool, and I want to be like Batman. And I feel like that was the turning point, even just within DC and comic book fandom in general, within the geek community. Now, I mean, you see it all the time. DC just revolves around Batman. Superman used to be the icon of DC, but then
and now Batman's the flagship.
Totally.
You look at the titles that are out, and there's 8 different Batman related titles at one time, and then you've got one Aquaman and one Flash maybe, and but that movie really, I think, kicked it off. It ignited a huge bomb that just and it's the where we've still been riding the wave from it.
And it's amazing because even when people say, oh, Batman again, aren't we tired of it yet? Every time there's a reboot or a new Batman movie, it always does, I mean, pretty well. The movies themselves may not be that great, but it generally gets a wide audience, I think Batman wasn't Batman Forever, one of the highest grossing Batman films, and a lot of people crap on that one now. But no one, for whatever reason, no one has gotten tired of them. And I mean, the success of Batman before the '89 movie kind of came in waves, right? You had the comics for a little while. He was really popular, and then sales started to lag, and then the TV show came along. They went up, but when the TV show got canceled. I guess the comic books started going down again. But ever since the 89 Batman movie, Batman has really never lost that wave. Like he'll always have a following. And I just think it's incredible. And I really don't think there's any other superhero that has that kind of power. I know that's horrifying to say, and we have a plethora of superheroes now to choose from, Marvel and DC. And down the road, I'm sure other superheroes are going to gain that same type of power. But maybe Superman, but the last couple of Superman films I know have not performed as well. And so I don't know. I think there's, whatever the reason, there's just something about Batman that has stuck. And for some reason, it has stuck since the 89 film.
Right. And across like different people, and it resonates with everybody.
Yes.
There's all different walks of life that are Batman fans.
Yeah.
They might not be comic book fans.
Yeah.
They might not be even Marvel fans or DC, but you ask them who one of their favorite characters of all time are, and Batman's up there.
And it became that know everything about Batman. That the whole universe transcends the comic book genre. I mean, people who have never picked up a comic book know who Catwoman is, who Alfred is. Yeah. They know the Batmobile. They know the Joker. They know everything about that. And these are people that I don't think ever picked up an issue from Neil Adams or Frank Miller or anything like that. They just know from these films and how it's out in pop culture and everything.
Yeah. And it became such a cultural touchstone that to this day, people are still saying that Michael Keaton is their favorite Batman. Right. All the other Batmen that we've had since then, since 1989, it all comes back to it. And it was great seeing him pop up again in the Flash movie.
Yeah. And what the technology in that movie allowed him to do. Because in Batman, as much as I love the 89 Batman movie, I mean, there's a lot of, he's doing a couple of stunts, but for the most part, he's just, spreading out the cape and looking all menacing and stuff.
Yeah.
This time around, we got to see him really do some kick-ass fights. And,
that's true.
It was just, it just.
Megan, tell your dad to get on this Michael Keaton guy. I think he'd really like him.
My dad being one of those people.
I know. I'm only kidding. He's one of the biggest champions from Michael Keaton.
Same.
And what about you, Megan? Growing up as a geek, I mean, you've got a really geeky dad, and I'm sure your mom is too by osmosis, like my wife. But so like you really had no choice. You were kind of, I guess, thrown into the
born into
culture.
It. Right,
yeah. Yeah, exactly. You merely adopted it. I was born into it.
that and rock and roll.
But what are your thoughts on this? I mean, have you noticed a change? Like, being that, you're a lot younger than us. So, I mean, you've probably been riding the wave of the Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings and the Marvel stuff. And,
I was not a Harry Potter fan at first. Like, I did not get into it.
Yeah, well, there are people who don't, but I mean, I'm just saying that became such a cultural thing. Oh, yeah. That became like a huge wave for people to ride as far as like the geek culture goes. For people to jump on board, and maybe be a springboard to other geeky stuff. They get into Harry Potter, they might discover, hey, there's another wizard out there named Harry Dresden. Maybe I should check this guy out, which is what I did, But what are your thoughts?
I mean, I started off when I was very little with Powerpuff Girls were my introduction to kind of the comic book world. Or at least like that I remember. I mean, I had the original the Batman animated series too. And Teen Titans. I was getting to that.
Oh yeah, that was my daughter's big intro to superheroes and geek stuff. She loved Beast Boy.
I love all of them. Well, that's not true. Because Starfire always annoyed me. I never liked Starfire, but I adored Raven. Raven was always my favorite and always will be.
Yeah.
Powerpuff Girls, Teen Titans, and the Batman animated series. Were my childhood staples.
I've always been curious. Like Megan, how old are you?
I am 20.
Are you still? You're out of high school, right?
Yes.
She's 26. I should hope so.
Like, oh Jesus, are you really? Holy crap! I thought you were way young. No, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Well, all right, but when you, obviously, like Brian said, you're a lot younger. What was school like for you back then? Like how what was it like? What was the dynamic for like geeks, people that were into that type of stuff? Like, how did they get treated? Because obviously they got treated very differently in our day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't really find my fellow people, my fellow, like, I didn't find that really until high school. Like other people that liked the shows that I did really, and I was very quiet. I was very quiet, and I went through the fake friends. So I had a lot of quote unquote friends, but they weren't really my friends. But as far as I know, all of us were just quiet. Yes, I was a band geek too. I played the flute. I played from 4th grade all the way through high school. I played the flute.
Band geeks.
Actually, honestly, that's where I found most of my people. That's where that's where I hit my other Marvel comic book, and where I got into Harry Potter right before high school. So I had, going into high school, I had my Harry Potter people who were all of them were in band. So apparently band just
me and Mark can relate to that. We're both band geeks. And Mark, I think you can attest. I mean, you agree, like when you with band, it's just you're able to be yourself, because you kind of almost go into it being like, we're band geeks, whatever, like we're not going to be like,
I'm home again.
Yeah. Well,
so it's like you kind of are able to open up more and be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You were in. I mean, with us, it's different now, I think, and it also depends really on what school you're in. But we were both, Derek and I, obviously, we were in the band in a school that did not like the band, and in a town that didn't care if we had music or not. So we were an afterthought. And so the Outcasts came together basically because we were all kind of shunned. Like it's just like you saw in the movies with that school. You know, we really were. It was rough. It was rough. So I know that, you know, of all my friends I've stayed in touch with, they're all the band kids still to this day. You know, and it's that kind of, here are other people that are going through similar things that I have, and so they're not judging me because they're too busy worried about themselves being judged. And we all kind of came together through that, and then we realized we had a lot of the same interests, and then from then, that's when we learned about each other. That's how Derek and I hit it off, and he got into horror because of me. I got into a lot of comics and stuff because of my friend Dan Bacon. I mean, it just that's how it all happens.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I had the advantage of having a pretty big band experience, because for my school we were one of the top in the area, and they still are. And while like it was more of, we had the bands from like other schools around us, like we were all almost a community ourselves, and while we may not have been like the center of attention at the school, because sports still took that by far, because they'll always take the spotlight. But we had a lot of supports too, and we were really big, and we prided ourselves on that.
Nice.
Again, I think it's whatever school system you belong to. I'm sure everybody had a different experience. My dad taught at Brockton High School. He was the music director there in Brockton, Massachusetts. And the band was bigger than the football team. People loved the band there. And so, you know, it depends where you are, where you go. That's what
and I think over time, band has gotten like, it's kind of now known as a bigger thing. I think between like song, artists like DMX has a song that had a marching band in it. Muse has an awesome version of one of their songs that
Mhm.
they have a not a remix, but like they remade the song with a marching band with like a college marching band. And
Yeah.
I think
Mhm.
that like
Yeah.
and
And
people see
you just saw
you
Rumors,
know,
the
right.
Fleetwood Mac cover band last night, and they one of their biggest songs was Tusk,
That's
where they
right. That
used the
had a
USC marching band in it.
Yep. And so I mean, like between those and like movies like the Pitch Perfect movies, that kind of
Mm.
you know
I was going to bring
obviously
that up too.
they're a cappella groups in
But
like
still, their
but
music
like
groups.
it makes it a cool thing, and people like
Mm.
oh like that I really like the sound of that. Like
Mhm.
they're kind of it. I think I mean honestly, I hate to give too much props to Hollywood because
Mhm.
Hollywood could be a very dark and evil place.
It sure can.
But it just goes to show what media can do to sway the viewpoint
Yeah.
of a society, really.
Mhm.
in
The
general.
Drumline movie too. I don't.
Right,
Oh, yeah,
Drumline,
that's right. Yeah.
and that really was like I think probably one of the ones that really kicked it off. Like that movie kind of
That
people
took
were like,
off.
oh, that
I still haven't
like
seen it, but
I saw it way back then, and I probably wouldn't watch it now because Nick Cannon is just insane. But but like that, I mean, that movie was made a while ago, and that really was the first time. Like, and then obviously American Pie, Bandcamp. The truth about
Mhm.
Bandcamp kind of
That's
lured
right.
people in. It was
That's right. Yeah.
like, oh, really? That's
They
what it's
ended up
like?
being the coolest.
Yes, that's
That's
what it's
right.
like.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate American Pie.
You hated it?
I've never seen it. I just hate it
Oh.
because of that. Because anytime that I got anytime in high school, as soon as anyone heard that I played the flute, it was that one time at band camp.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm. Say
I
no
can
more.
see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Because
not a lot you can do with the
one
trumpet.
time
so.
at band camp.
No.
Forget the tuba, Derek.
Yeah,
Jesus.
forget that. You can just blow a trumpet, but the things you can do with a flute, jeez.
And to this day, I can't hear anybody say this one time without going at band
Yeah,
camp,
band
like,
camp, yeah.
finishing that sentence. And speaking of being, raised by geeks and stuff, we are three geeky dads. We wouldn't be dads without our kids,
Right.
which we are raising geeky.
That's true. Yeah.
How much are we encouraging them? And do you think the tide will turn? Do you think that it will suddenly become not cool to be a geek, and are our kids doomed to be ridiculed and like we were back in the day?
I think it's only going to continue. I think our kids are going to be like the cool kids, and I think I definitely
I would hope so.
Liam loves the Marvel stuff, which is great. Like I have a whole list of movies that I want, like I'm dying for him to see, and and even Mara, like because Mara I think she's so fierce. My daughter is a hellion, and I don't see. I would love for her to be like full geek because she's the type of girl that like no one's gonna give her crap because she'll kick their ass.
Right,
like, she's not gonna take any insulting or bullying.
Yeah,
for liking something.
Good for her.
So yeah, I mean, I
stand your ground.
So far, they're digging it. I mean, they know who characters are. When Liam was like really little, like some of the first stuff I was teaching him was who's Superman, Clark Kent, who's Batman, Bruce Wayne. I mean, he knew
right.
Barry. Yeah, he knew all the different, and on both sides, Marvel and DC, and I couldn't be prouder.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I had one of those moments too, and I think I mentioned it on our show, but I'm going to reiterate this little story for those who haven't heard it. Like 10 years ago, when I got the job I've got now, we went out to celebrate at the British Beer Company in Franklin, Massachusetts, and we're sitting there waiting for our meal to come, and the conversation turned to somehow superheroes, and Quinn, my daughter, brought up Nightwing, and she said, "Oh, that Robin becomes Nightwing." And I'm like, yeah, he does. But how do you know that? Because she was only like 6 at the time. And I'm like, how do you know that? And Megan, you'll be proud of this. She was like, Teen Titans. He was on Teen Titans. And I'm like, oh, all right. And here she is, thinking that she's schooling me, about like, oh, yeah, no, that's Robin. He grows up and becomes Nightwing. I'm like, my God, 6 years old. And she knows this. I didn't know that at 6.
See,
So, yeah.
I had the music side of that.
Mm-hmm.
Story because when I was 2 or 3, I could name all of the members of Kiss, what their and what their like characters were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, how about you, Mark?
And Mark, I mean,
Well,
Livy's following your footsteps, right?
totally. My youngest Liv is an artist. She loves to draw. She's 8 years old now, and in fact, we got my old comic book collection out, and went through all of them, and she grabbed a bunch. She's a huge Spider-Man fan, so she grabbed a bunch of issues of Spider-Man and Batman, and she's using them to draw from the same way I did when I was a kid, and
That's great.
and she's reading them as well. Like, she's legitimately learning characters like Hobgoblin and Green Goblin, and it wasn't forced. I mean, they were born into it. It wasn't really a choice. It's just that it was the atmosphere. It was all around them.
Yeah.
My other daughter Emily, like Quinn, saw Teen Titans and she loved it, and she was a Powerpuff Girls fan, and so. But now she's a teenager and she thinks she knows everything. So her stuff is like shifting. It's all like YouTube, TikTok heroes, and things like that, which is fun. She'll still watch Teen Titans with me, and every now and then she'll sit and watch horror films with me. But Liv is definitely the little mini me in that department. She loves to draw. She loves the horror stuff. And again, it was just because what I do, drawing comics, there's pictures of horrific things all around the house anyhow. They grew up in a fun house. It was unavoidable, I think.
Yeah. It kind of is. You look around any of our houses and we've got geek stuff all over the walls. We sure do. Now,
yes. So. Yeah. But I wasn't there with a Batman comic, like shoving it in their face going,
no, you can't.
Read it,
because then they'll rebel and be like, "Oh, Dad wants me to read this. I'm not going to read
exactly.
it."
My dad likes it. It cannot be cool,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, and it sets the groundwork, though. I mean, like, they see all that, and and then they kind of find their own geeky things. I mean,
I was just going to say the same thing.
Big into anime, right? I mean, and
it's
kind of like
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, Emily, get my dad on that train.
What anime?
Yes, I've been trying to get him for years now.
My oldest daughter Emily is super into anime. She loves that stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Star Blazers was my gateway anime back in the day.
I know. And, I'm going to show her Vampire Hunter D.
That was a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The classic.
I always liked
Akira. Which one, Derek?
Ergo Proxy.
I don't know that one.
I don't either.
And you know what made me discover it was that I was so in love with Amy Lee from Evanescence.
Yeah.
And the main character looks like Amy Lee.
Okay.
She's like, this goth looking brunette. I thought, oh, cool, she's hot. Like, let me watch this. It was pretty good.
That's all it takes.
That's it. It's got to be something that grabs you.
Right.
I keep trying to get him to start with My Hero Academia. It's like that because
that's another one that my daughter was into.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
that's the one Emily and I watched too. And a Demon Slayer show. I can't remember the name.
Yes.
of it.
Yeah.
I watched that.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Oh,
she liked that one too.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was the one that was like? There were different monsters. Like there was like a girl with a cat. Like she was like a werecat, and then there was the two like succubuses, and I want to say it was like Night Stalkers or Dark Stalkers or something like that.
I don't know that one. Sounds
I don't know that one either.
Yeah.
Was that some hentai you were into, Derek? Cool. What was
that? No one with hot anime babes.
Tentacles. Nothing but tentacles.
Oh man!
Yeah, that's right. We haven't watched Wicked City or anything like that yet. No, I'm not.
No. Too soon.
Too soon.
Yeah. So I think we're raising our kids right.
Right.
I really do. I mean,
I think so.
And especially if you look at the turnouts at all the Comic-Cons, like big Comic-Cons in San Diego and the one we're going to in New York, like it's huge. It's a 4 or 5 day experience for people. They spend thousands of dollars every year to take part in it. You go there and you see a mix of people.
Yeah.
And, it's nice. It's nice to see that.
It's become a family thing.
And I don't know about you guys, but I love whenever, like, even just in regular general public, if you go out and you're wearing one of your more, like, the shirts that, like, you really only the four of us would get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then someone says, "Oh, I love that shirt." Like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I love that movie."
Yeah.
Like Halloween 3, I have a million Halloween 3 shirts now.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I remember wearing I
Mark.
had one that was just the Silver Shamrock logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some guy randomly at the zoo, I was at the zoo with my kids, and he came up. He's like, "Is that a Halloween 3 shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Doesn't get enough credit.
I
I'm
did
like,
the same thing when we were coming back from Canada a couple of days ago. The guy at the toll booth in New Hampshire, just before you get to the Massachusetts border, he had an Empire, from Star Wars. He had the Empire symbol on a black T-shirt in red. And I looked at him. I'm like, "Oh, cool shirt." And he's like, "Thanks, man. You go." You gave me your money. Go. Oh, look your shirt, man.
That's how it happens. That's how it happens.
We find our own.
You meet somebody by their shirts, and you're like, "Oh, okay, Nightbreed shirt." Oh, I had a Nightbreed shirt on the other day, and they're like, "Oh, Clive Barker." Huh?
You guys connected because of that, didn't you? Like,
that's right. Yeah, Ryan was wearing a shirt, and I was wearing a shirt.
Yeah. Well, I saw Mark walking around with his Fright Night sweatshirt on. And Kathy's like, "Well, why don't you go tell him that he's got a cool shirt?" And I'm like, "Look at him. He's huge. He's going to beat me up. He doesn't want to be bothered by me."
No, get away from me.
And then later on, we got invited to their house for a little get together because his daughter was friends with my daughter in school, and we thought it was Emily's birthday in the middle of the summer, and we brought a present, and it turns out it wasn't a birthday party. It was just a little, what was it? A little swim thing.
Well, we had moved into your neighborhood, and it was get to know the neighborhood people.
Yeah.
The neighborhood kids.
That's what it was.
And that's when you guys showed up with a birthday present. Oh, we thought it was her birthday. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe it might be. I don't know my kid's birthday."
It will be eventually. Thank you.
Yeah.
Boom, and he closed the door in my face.
Well, we both had geek shirts on. Right. We had geek shirts on, and that's all it took.
I walked in and I saw all Mark's Batman stuff and the horror stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, I got to hang out with this guy."
Right.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
The rest is
it really
history.
does. It connects people, and it's nice to see that.
Yep. 5 years later, we've got a podcast together talking about exactly what we used to talk about when we first met.
Right.
Yep.
So
and that's the whole thing, really. Geekdom has become a language. It's a language it's an unspoken language. You can just have a spider sense about people now.
Good call.
Because we got all the material. It's all over the shirts. It's on our hats. We got bumper sticker, everything.
That's right. Window stickers on the car.
Exactly. So you know that you're just kind of automatically drawn to people who have all this stuff, and you can strike up a conversation easily. And it may be like another language to all the other people in the supermarket, but you're talking to that one guy who has that one shirt, and then all of a sudden he knows you, you know him, and boom, it just goes from there.
Yeah. Right.
And that's what it's become. Where once upon a time, I don't think it wasn't like that. Everybody kind of kept their geekdoms to themselves, and you know how many of them were out there.
We've all come out of the geek closet.
We have. We have. Some more than others.
I think your shirt is fabulous.
Go ahead, Megan.
I need to speak something out. This is the first time I've seen somebody actually say,
look at this.
"Guy from my country."
Hey, Simon.
Hey.
Simon's a contributor on our page. Hello. Bonjour, Simon.
So I just wanted to throw that out.
I don't know any other French.
Hello.
I don't either. I wasn't going to make a jackass out of myself, so hi.
Je ne suis pas un morceau de fromage.
Oh, sure, rub it in.
That means I am not a piece of cheese. I don't know why I know that phrase.
I knew the word fromage.
I know we come from France, from Coneheads.
Exactly. Consume mass quantities.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Cool. Wow.
So I'm sorry. What were you saying? What were you saying, Megan? Before we get sidetracked.
I just wanted to throw that out because I've never seen somebody comment from a country. So,
yeah. No, I'm
Australian.
not sure the pronunciation, but Simon or Simone, they contribute to our page. They are always commenting on our stuff that we post. So I think we're bringing some of our peeps over, and hopefully hopefully they will stay and enjoy your show next week when we're not
Definitely. Yes.
Well,
on.
as a two geeks, why can I not think of words today?
The two geeks and a microphone show.
Member, as a member from the team. Hello and welcome to our show.
Definitely check them out. Michael and Steven are great guys, and
they are, and we really appreciate.
We've had an awesome relationship with them.
And that's another thing. Being geek is meeting like-minded people in the podcast community as well. And we've said it before, like being on this show. It's like we've met them. We've met the Chris and Tristan from the Get Your Shine Box podcast up in Canada. We've met local people like Marco and his crew from the Entertainment Rants podcast, and of course Steven and Michael here on Two Geeks and a Microphone. It's wonderful. It really is, and it gives us a nice opportunity to bounce ideas off of each other, and what we're liking and what we're griping about, and it's awesome. It really is. Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mike chiming in. No, we love you guys, and we really appreciate the opportunity that you've given us to take over this morning and fill in for you guys. We definitely can't fill your shoes, but we will fill your screen with our large presence.
I'm filling the screen.
Enjoy. Mark, do it in 3D. Bring it. Bring the screen closer.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. 3D.
3GD.
There it is.
All right, so that's about an hour's worth of content there. Are we good to wrap up there, Megan?
Good.
Yeah, if you want.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Well, again, we just want to thank Mike and Steven for having us on, and for you too, Megan, for manning the control board for us.
Thank you,
and making us look and sound as good as we possibly can with faces for radio.
Speak for yourself. I'm striking.
Oh, you
Look,
are.
I'm all pasty white. Look at this.
The ghost
more
of Mark.
So than
Mark, you're glowing.
I'm like the Spectre. Oh.
Y'all are amazing, and welcome on the show anytime. And my dad said that many times.
Sounds good. Sounds
good. Awesome.
But as far as closing things, go ahead and like and subscribe us on YouTube and Facebook and all that. And if I can find the things, stop looping.
Is anybody going to do the over and out and may the force be with you?
I was trying to get through the things that I can't find.
Uh-oh. We'll fix it in post.
Oh, no. I was trying to watch comments, so I wasn't on these things. If you want to check out our merch page, we are now on Fourth Wall. You can access it through this link, or you can go through our homepage, which if I can find the button, 2geeksmike.com. Also check out the Three Geeky Dads. I cannot talk. As per usual. We are also on Ko-fi, which there should be a link for that on the website as well. The Two Geeks website is the hub for everything, as usual. And that's about all I have.
All right. Well, thank you,
well
Megan.
Done.
And thank you again. Like I said, I think I'm repeating myself.
Thank you for having us.
Can't say it enough. Mike, Steven, and Megan, please. I hope we didn't ruin everything. So please think of us if you need us. We'll fill in again. We haven't already destroyed your.
I kind of hope we did. I hope we sparked a little bit of controversy. It's good to be that guest star. Who
instead of the takeover, it's going to be the podcast throwdown next time. Huh? Okay, I see how stirring the pot here.
We hope Steven and Michael enjoy their vacations.
Yeah.
And Mark, enjoy yours.
Well, I'm gonna get to mine now. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, now that your work is done,
my work. Mike and Steve put me to work. What's up with this?
It was optional. You didn't have to.
You can blame me. It was kind of my idea. The last time
I know.
on their show.
I know. I'm just kidding. No, I love this.
On me,
this is awesome.
Them.
This is not
trust me. He didn't need his arm twisted to do this.
No, not at all. Any chance to talk is fine.
especially about geeky stuff.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, you want to sign us out?
Sign us out, Brian.
Yeah, like Megan said, please check out the Two Geeks and a Microphone at www.twogeeksmike.com. Please check us out when you're done checking them out. We're at www.3gdpod.com. That's www.
The number 3.
GD
number 3
podcast.com. There is a delay, Derek. And as Megan said, that's also our hub for everything geeky. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our audio can be heard on YouTube every week. And I think that's it. So with that, I'm going to say over and out, and be with you.
Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
May the force be with you.
All right.